Ciao a tutti e benvenuti su Tribune, il nostro format di Twitch dedicato alla moda e non solo. E sono contenta di comunicarvi e di dirvi che questa sarà la prima diretta in lingua inglese perché ho ospiti internazionali per il nostro appuntamento appunto settimanale. È una diretta speciale che arriva dopo una giornata importante per l'Italia. Infatti ieri appunto si è tenuto l'Elbue Mash Prize che ha visto come vincitori innanzitutto Secciu che è a base appunto nel nostro paese e poi Maiano. Intanto adesso inizio appunto a parlare in inglese ed introdurvi quelli che sono i nostri ospiti e quella realtà che appunto racconterà come aiuta i giovani brand ad emergere. So, welcome guys, welcome everyone. You are a lot from all the parts of the world. It's incredible, and the host of this chapter of our Tribune is Giorgio of Dadsit. So Dadsit, it's a reality that really helps new talents, emerging talents to emerge. They support the talents that they scout all around the world in every part of the business. It means the marketing part, it means the visual part, it means also the way that they can interact with the buyer and with the market. So, Giorgio, now we can introduce all your designers and then you can speak about Dadsit. Who wants to start?
I'm going to start in order to let them be more easy with the flow. Let's go with the flow. Thanks first, Alessia, for the introduction. Dadsit is a reality that was born during the uni. We just figured out there was a gap between emerging designers and brands and the real world. That's why we started out. Mainly, we do up to product development that could start from the drawings up to the prototypes, sample collection, and minimum quantities production. That's game changer for emerging brands because they have not so much budget, as you know better than me. Yeah. Second, we go through PR and communication in order to let them be new by the real world and be stand on them. We work with stylists, influencer, magazine like you, interview, and all the steps that get us new in the world. Right now, we are working also on the buying situation because we all know that if you don't sell, it's gonna be hard to go and reproduce new collection. And it's gonna be the last point of the company, let's say, for now.
Thank you, Giorgio. Who wants to start speaking about the reality of the brand that you represent and that you are, the designer that you are? Pecora Nera, do you want to talk about your collective?
Yeah, so Pecora Nera, much like with Dadsit in Giorgio's case, was born as a collective in the halls of Politecnico di Milano. Many of my team members studied knitwear there, and in the period for the final thesis, they found each other this common passion for knitwear that then gradually evolved, pulling in various members with various competencies to then form the collective that we are now. And the company actually, as a brand, has its roots in December, so we're very young, and we've released a couple capsule collections. But we are releasing our first fully fledged collection very soon. And yes, we have a focus on knitwear, as I said. Our slogan is contemporary fashion, fantasy knitwear, which I believe encapsulate what we are about. And we want to represent a new generational model of fashion. We want to, in some way to find a place on the market, but in our way, in a sustainable way, both from point of view of the environment and from a human point of view, from a managerial, from a brand point of view. We want to bring these values on the market alongside our.
So how many designers are you? You are a collective. How many people are involved in your collective?
It varies. We have two main designers, which are Giovanni and Michele over here. But the core team includes many people with many different competencies. Chiara, for example, here comes from an international relations background, and she worked in the music industry as PR, so she does that for our collective as well. We have people that concern themselves with photography, a small group of video makers from Rome. It's very quite broad. Depending on how far you want to zoom out, the number can vary, but from 9 to realistically 12, 15, that's the entire expanded group.
So it's a studio, it's a creativity studio, not just focused on design, but every piece of art, I think.
The fulcrum is definitely the knitwear, but from there we branch into a variety of different aspects, and the knitwear is created from all these different aspects coalescing into each other.
Okay, thank you. Bloody Blue from Seoul, and he is connected with very different hours from us. Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to speak about your reality, and what about your brand?
Okay, what time is in there?
Here it's 8 p.m.
Okay, here is 9 of June and 3 a.m. now.
Oh, thank you. Really.
Okay. Okay, anyway, nice to meet you. My name is Kyung-Duk Kim. I'm the founder and designer of Bloody Blue. Let me introduce Bloody Blue. Bloody Blue is a brand that deals with fashion and art. And personally, I believe that a brand needs to be showcased in various ways. As part of that, we carry out art projects. The art project brand itself engaged 1 or 3 projects per year. This project involved collaboration with other artists or are conducted with the brand. For example, if we feel that we need paintings or art objects during the preparation process for a collection, we create them, even hold exhibition with using these pieces. We have also held exhibition after being selected as one of the young artists in Korea. And Bloody Blue's fashion is based on youth culture, particularly focusing on the imperfection that we experience when we are young, to express those emotions of imperfection that we only feel during that time. Bloody Blue use bold silhouette prints and colors, and I don't believe that everyone becomes an adult as they age, because I myself cannot claim to be an adult yet, I think.
Yeah.
So I want to create clothes for those people.
Wow. What a great goal that you ambitious. And you are in the right platform, because our mission of our Tribune fashion section is that creating a connection with art. Speaking about fashion, but fashion for us is art, and we take care a lot about this. So, thank you. And about Kesey Archive, let's speak about your brand. It's just an introduction part, and then we move through right questions. Oh, sorry. Add your microphone. Open your microphone. Oh, we don't listen to you. Wait. Technical problems. It's switched on. Try again. Maybe it's yours. No. I have. Oh, nothing. Maybe you can enter. You can exit and you can enter again, because your microphone here is okay. So maybe you can exit and enter again, and then now we move through Gawar. Gawar.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We heard you.
So, I feel like life, art history, and like your daily life and everything really impacts your design. And I graduated from Polymoda in 2018. After which I was working for a slight period, and then I decided to start working on my brand. And for like my silhouettes and all, I always referred a lot to vintage patterns, and like my daily life also played an important role in the developments of my designs. Like even going to some music festivals really impacted my design aesthetic, I would say. And it was somewhere like a bridge between streetwear and sportswear and like athleisure. That's like the current collection I'm working on. And so, yeah, basically.
Well, it's the season of music festivals, so
Yeah,
we are a
yeah.
lot inspired during summer.
In fact, like a lot of people would tell me that like the clothes that you're making, it's like a lot of rave wear and, you know, garments that people would generally wear at festivals and stuff as well,
So
aside from,
be inspired by art, by music.
yeah,
It's the inspiration of the contemporary world impacts a lot of young
for sure.
generations.
In
Of
fact,
yes. So we have also a chat here on Twitch. So we have people that say, "Hi, if you wanna text us something, ask us something about the designer to the designer. So please feel free to say everything. We are here to answer you." So now still waiting for the KSA archive. Maybe they have some problems with the technical problems, but we're waiting for them just to describe their activity. Now we move to talk about that's it. So Giorgio, the way that you really help brands to emerge. What's your daily activity to help them to grow up? What do you do? Describe your daily life, your daily schedule.
The daily routine is going to be the hardest part of the interview, let me say. Uh, Basically, it depends on the brand, it depends on the need. I probably can say that we used to customize our daily work depending on the brand. For example, the guys of Pecoranera had different needs instead of all the other because they do knitwear and they do the whole collection by themselves. So we are not working with them on the product development. But this doesn't mean that the product is not good. I would say that the product is made in an extremely great way, and it's just something we have all of us be proud of because they are really amazing guys, and I'm proud to meet them at the Wake Up event. With all the others, I would say that with Gawar and Kasi Archive, we had the great chance to work on two collection right now. On first of all on the samples and also on the merchandise production. That's why we're gonna go through. We are going through all the steps that keeps the brand from the sample collection to start producing and getting the manufacturing work. That it's really tough for emerging brands. For the PR side, we customize the way because, as I was saying, everyone has different needs, everyone has different strategies, and also, let's say, clients, but probably target is going to be the best word, are all different brands, and that's the main reason why we try to be more focused on all the needs. Someone from Bloody Blue from Korea, from Seoul, just sent us the last collection. Right now is working on the new one with also like Gawar and Kasi Archive, and I will say that it just is gonna show the new collection for the Seoul Fashion Week in September, and it's a huge accomplishment, I would say, and really proud of him because we know each other from Polymoda, and we just stay in touch for a personal friendship, and then also we are going through also the work. Yeah, mainly I would say that we try to be a community composed by people and not just about work, because if it's a code work, nothing could happen, nothing could be born, and we face all the situation with them. It's a daily interview, DMs with all the guys.
Also with different times. So your
Yeah,
day
that's
is
yeah,
around 48 hours because you have designers from all around the world. So it means that you work
exactly,
also
exactly.
in the night.
My
How do you
WhatsApp works 24/7.
how do you select them? So we know that there is an affinity, we know that you have the same aim, but what are the characteristics that help you to select the designers that collaborate with you?
In 3 years, I would say that we faced more than 70 between designers and brand, and it's really tough for us to select the best that are close to our vision, because it's really easy in the fashion world right now just to start a brand. I mean, everyone could say that because you need, let's say, just a collection, but to have a vision, to have a project, to have a business that you want to work in, you want to work with, it's a really another dimension. So I was impressed by Bloody Blue, as I was saying. I knew him from the high school. I know he's a really hard worker. So was just okay. Let you jump in with me. It was totally great.
You fall in love with
Yeah, we fall in love with each other during uni.
the activity, and also I think the vision, because
Yeah,
these
exactly.
guys, these profiles has a very strong vision, everyone, and they are different. When I wrote the article, I discovered that different profiles. They are not the same each other. So it's interesting. And another question that I have. How do you cooperate with the industry? I know that it's very hard because you cooperate with the buyers, with the stylists, art directors, journalists. How do you cooperate with them?
Basically, we try to talk, okay, between brands and all the creatives that I like to call them creators, because otherwise I will start saying stylists, art director, photographers, and all the creative figures that are in the fashion field. So I will call them creators. Basically, we try to figure out the best one that are more in target with the brands, and also on the job they're gonna go and do it with them, depending on the magazine, depending on the artist, on the job itself. So that's why we try also to give the power and the chance to talk, let's say, to stylists on all the creators that want to give their love to the brands and to the community.
Well, I'm trying to. Here we are. We are with guys. Here we are, guys. Yes, technical problems. Technical problems. It happens, but no worries. We just were describing Georgia's activity, and now we can really now talk about your brand. Describe your brand, and I was very fascinated about what you do, but share it with our readers.
Okay, we're first of all, we're really sorry for the
Oh,
glitch
don't
and
worry,
all.
don't worry. Twitch is a platform where we can really be ourselves and technical problems are accepted. No
Thank
worries.
you so much, Alessia and everybody. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Lynn, and here's Marco. We are the co-founders of Kasi Archive. Basically, we met in Florence. I was a fashion stylist before, and Marco is a musician. And ever since we met, we clicked, and we felt that we wanted to build an archive of life together, let's say. So that's the reason why Kasi Archive is our creative interpretation of the parallel world between clothing and experimental electronic music. And by uniting these two worlds, we hope to be able to make a multi-sensory experience by expressing ourselves through designs, obviously through clothing, and also stimulating the growth of electronic music scene in Italy and also in the rest of the world through album releases and also musical events.
So this could be a live dedicated to music and fashion, and not just dedicated to fashion design. We were talking about festivals, electronic music, collective focused on music. So I'm very happy because it's also, my identity is based between music and fashion. So it's confirmed that after 20 years of career, almost 20 years, I'm still young and contemporary. Anyway, anyway, guys. So, a question: be an emerging brand on 2023, and how is important be part of a prize such as the selected by a prize such as the LVMH prize that yesterday gave an opportunity, a chance. And I was very fascinated of what Luchino Maiano says, no, say that thanks for giving us the opportunity of showing you what we are, what is our creativity. So how much is important, and what means being an emerging brand on 2023. Who wants to start?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I will use this word. Thanks to be seen.
Yeah, thanks to be seen. Yeah.
Is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Exactly. But, Giorgio, the problem is that a lot of emerging brands are on the market. And sometimes, and I speak about someone that it's on the other part, the world goes faster, and something, I feel the sensation that I miss something. So you need to be always focused on the world that is changing. And the prize are a very good opportunity, but at the same time, you need to be a professional that has the eyes of everything on everything. And now having the eyes on everything is almost impossible. So I think that we need more prizes. We need more chance to give an opportunity to these guys. Also for us, also for the people that work in journalism, because we need to see them thanks to these occasions. But what do you think about this?
Me or the guys?
The guys, the guys.
Should I?
Yeah, go on.
I feel like with the market already being saturated, and it's difficult for like emerging talent to like create a space, and like when I started out, like, working on my brand, it was very difficult because I mean, through Giorgio and also others, screening different vendors and, coming up with a quality product that will be able to like penetrate, your customer's mind is not an easy task. And when there's so much competition, it's very difficult. Also, like establishing the right team. So I feel like there's a lot of challenges that emerging designers have to face, in this day and age because of that. But yeah, basically,
Yeah.
that's my perspective.
And what about the Italian side, the Pecora Nera?
Well, yeah. In particular, we find that these competitions are essential for promotion, because especially having cross promotion is important for all brands. So social media is definitely an element on which we invest a lot in terms of resources. For example, traditional physical showcasing events, small realities like ours don't necessarily have the budget, the reach to be able to leverage these events to really show what we're about and showcase our products and reach our customers, which is something that, despite having many advantages, unfortunately, social media doesn't necessarily vehicle that easily. So yeah, we believe that these events are extremely important, and we haven't competed in any prizes yet. However, many events such as Fashion Revolution, held
Yeah.
by Suzzani, as well as where we famously met Georgia, that type of event have served as bridge between the, as you said, more structured competitions and the realities that we live as a merchant brand. So the Italian scene definitely has a couple important prizes that we would like to focus on in the future. There's Camera Nazionale della Moda,
Yes.
also a prize we would very gladly participate in the future, as well as Mikel, Moda. And yes, so they're extremely important for us, and we're very glad to have them on the horizon in our future.
And what about Bloody Blue? What about Seoul? Are there occasions for emerging designers to be, known from the people in the industry, or what about the other side of the world?
In my personal opinion, the biggest challenge would be introducing and sustaining the design in the market as well as the promotional aspect. Even if someone have excellent design skills and produce high quality products, it's no good if cannot promote them properly. And promotion remains my biggest assignment to date.
Yeah.
As a designer, it is natural to have an attachment to what we create. However, whether our creation will receive a similar response in the market is a question that cannot be answered. I hesitate to say that Bloody Blue is doing well because we are unsure of the answer too. However, we must believe in ourselves. This may sound abstract, but when we wake up and scroll through social media, we come across thousands of new fashion posts. It's important not to be swayed by them. And for example, we are putting great effort into defining our direction and enhancing our unique color, participating in exhibition, engaging in art project, and producing 20 samples per season may not generate immediate profits, but they contribute to the development of our distinct identities. I hope that these efforts combined with effective promotion will shine brightly, I think.
So, sustainability and the climate change. What are your main aim for the planet? What do you do in terms of sustainability? Sustainability approach, upcycling, recycling. What do you do for the planet as a brand? Because now, of course, it's an important part of every proposal for the market, for the buyers, for the press. Anyone has this sensibility now.
If we want, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our case, in our work, we work exclusively with recovered yarns, and we are also an upcycling company. So for us, it's more important to give new life to all surplus grow up by high fashion industry. And I'm really sure there's a lot of surplus that is rejected. So we want to use sustainable means for create new things that is improve our brands and our meaning and our mission. The thing that is often forgotten in this sustainability way is something that goes strongly hand in hand with a company's economic health and intelligence in business. That is growing up with our view, and it's not a coincidence if with this sustainable approach we have a different way to use our production. Because maybe I don't want to say that our production is low, but because we work night and morning every day. But I like to call the production more meditative, passions, and qualitative because we want to create something with a specific way to give something not rejecting some surplus or maybe to create a very strong customization with a made-to-measure 2.0, if you want to say it like this. But yeah, we want to create something more clear, more easier for us and for all our stakeholders or people that want to stay in our community.
Thank you. And what about Kasey Archive? What do you do
So
for?
basically, when we do our collections, we try to start with small quantity products. We work also with the manufacturers in our territory in Tuscany because, like, obviously Tuscany has a lot of resources to help us create. And I think that's very important also to underline the strength in that production. But also when it comes to design approach, we really try to do more investment pieces, let's say, when it's like functional and has a longer period of time that you can wear. So it's not just something that will be broken after 1 second and then you're gonna say goodbye and it's just gonna last for after one wash, for example. So we really try to put a lot of effort in the material research and also the quality and all the details.
Thank you. Do you want to add something else regarding the sustainability, the way that you develop the material, that you search for material to giving them another life? So do you want to add something else regarding this part? And what do you think about also the future of sustainability in fashion?
Can anybody go or?
No, no, no. If you want to speak, go ahead.
No, I was going to start. So no, being like we're like the pioneers of like the packaging industry here in Pakistan. So like for the past 50 years, we make packaging and like tissue paper and all of that, and eco-friendly packaging. So I think like when we use a lot of recycled like tissues and stuff. So when as a designer, my whole mission was to always work more with like upcycling and sustainable fabrics. So like I remember for my graduation collection at Polymoda, I upcycled like prayer mats, like mats, carpets, and
Wow.
then I drape them in various ways to achieve a silhouette and then take it. So it was completely an upcycle collection. The
Wow.
one to follow after that, after like years of being in school, was not so like I was not upcycling fabrics as much, but I definitely worked with recycled polyesters and nylons. There are some companies within Tuscany that do use make them. So it's definitely my mission to be more, not a completely 100% sustainable brand, because it's impossible to be, but at least like 70% I would want to use, like work with fabrics. Also like the last collection, I'm reusing some of the fabrics because I don't want to just waste them. So I'm
Yeah.
using them in the current collection in some way. I'm trying to cooperate them so I don't have to just throw them away, like meters of fabric. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, fast fashion does have that impact on the planet. And also, like for my brand, I will be launching digitally, essentially. And a lot of the pieces will be made to order, so I don't have to mass produce big quantities. And I think that's already a step towards like a more sustainable future.
You have different way to be approached by sustainability, and the common, is that you want to be slow, but at the same time reflect a lot on what you produce in terms of creativity on the projects.
Sure.
Now there is my question that I, in the middle of my life, I have always the question that disappoints someone. So creativity versus the market. The requests from the market, from the buyers, from the stores. You know that there is always they are not on the same level. How much it impacts on your project flow? Do you think your creativity, or you want to communicate to people with your collection, or you have always in mind this needs to be a sellable collection, you know?
Yeah. So I think balancing creativity and the market is definitely a challenge, because on one side you have wild dreams of your brand, and like maybe even some of the designs that you come up with, they're very extravagant or more sophisticated. And then you have to take out like details and like sort of streamline, because you're like, okay, is this sellable? Is this a functional garment? So I think that's where the challenge really lies. And on the sales perspective also. So I think like even like meeting budgets, because sometimes like a very creative product can also mean more expensive product, and that doesn't necessarily help. So I feel like in order to recover like the money that you've invested in setting the brand's identity, you have to kind of balance, the creativity and like the selling aspect sort of there for sure. But
Yeah. And what about the other ones? You take
sorry.
care a lot about the request of the market, or you think it's just about, okay, let's create now and let's see what happens?
Well, it might be because of our particular phase in a brand's life cycle, but we have very strong values and we love to express them when it comes to productive decisions, creative decisions, personal decisions. We really feel very strongly on this point. And this joined with the fact that, again, we don't necessarily yet have to fight against the market that much. The real compromise that we encounter is the contrast between our very strong feeling of creativity and desire to express ourselves that sometimes comes into contrast with the equally strong regard that we have for our customers. We want them to receive something that is as perfect as it can be and as reliably recreatable by us so that we assure the same level of quality and the same aesthetic to each one of our clients. And this is more often than not the compromise that we have to make, more than a stylistic one, in the sense that we have to confront ourselves with the reality that sometimes, for example, there's a lot of interplay between costume design, theatrical costume design, and our garments. So sometimes we're in love with the design, but unfortunately, it's not feasible at the current scale we have to replicate on a large enough scale to be able to satisfy our customers.
Also, that's why we work a lot with artists, and that kind of we try always to create a huge network around us of creative people and artists. I think it's a great compromise for us because in our team we have a lot of minds that are more like artistic mind and like more like economic mind. But I think it's the most beautiful thing of our team. It's also I think healthy stuff for us because we can find like the right path to go through. And I think also when like for example for me and Michele, it's like more an artistic vision.
Yeah.
We pass through that vision. We have to talk with the other guys, and when we like try to find the right solution, the creativity from the creativity vision and also from the product vision. And when we like when we are here and we are like we get the right result, we are all happy with it. So I think it's a great compromise for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always start from more complex kind of designs, which are kind of far from merchandise. But when it comes to merchandise, we don't want to do like basic and standard. We want to transmit people uh, ideas that are based in the more creative and crazy stuff we start from. And in fact, in our simple pieces, there are a lot of details uh, and things that gives them a better a result that put the garment in a higher range of level. And working with artists and celebrities is what we think can give the possibility to people to understand our visions of
Yeah, because of the sensibility of the people that you work with, you have the same, how to say, inspirations, the same sensibility, and you understand each other. So, thanks for this because it's useful for the other question. Brands and the editorial field. How much important is the product placement, and also that's it helps you to do it on social media, celebrities, on artists, on independent magazines also because all of you are emerging. I think that you look into independent editorial field that experiments more than the institutional one. How much is important for a brand to be a part of a product placement?
So I feel like product placement is like crucial for any brand. In fact, placement in general like lets you establish, your consumer base, and social media and placement. They set like your brand's identity, and reinforcing placements gives you a way to like consistency, and hence the brand becomes like a part of the consumer's subconscious, and then in turn it increases your brand engagement and increases position, brand positioning, allowing sales to also escalate at some point, I feel.
And what about Casey Archive? Do you already collaborated with the musician because you are related with electronic music? Have you already done collaboration or not?
Yes, like for now, I don't know if Giorgio will give us the go to say the names, but like,
Oh,
oh, like we're back.
spoiler
Go
now.
with, go with,
No,
go
no,
with.
no more
No
spoiler.
spoiler,
But
no spoiler.
we're really thankful with also with the collaboration that we have with That's It, obviously, because like as in the beginning we didn't think a lot about placement, we didn't think about editorial, but at the same time we realized that it is like a basic need now. Like you cannot make a brand without having a marketing plan, let's say, to be exposed in the digital scene and also in physical scene, because for example we also
Trying
make
to make
our
event.
exactly
Also.
we make event to make our community, but at the same time, you will arrive to a certain amount of people, but when it comes to digital you will go over the continents to other places that you've never been. So for sure it is very crucial for any emerging brands right now.
And do you have a specific target in terms of product placement? What you are looking for? Musicians, influencers? I don't know. What kind of editorial field do you like?
Mostly musicians,
Musicians.
the experimental music scene,
Yeah.
especially in the noise scene.
So like DJs and all as well, I'm sure, like musicians generally.
Yeah, and because like I feel like there are a lot of experimental electronic musicians that are still under the spotlight, they're still underground, and and some of them actually wrote to us and say like, hey, like guys, like will you be willing to lend your stuff to us? And we are like, of course, like you guys are our champions in our brand. So the fact that they also came to us and hey, like ask like if they can borrow our garments, for us is like we really appreciate that.
Well, and Giorgio, I want to also add that you, as a Datsit, collaborate also with emerging stylists and art directors. You are open to this kind of new emerging stylists and not just to established one. So it's important to say that these all these brands are not looking just for the talent that maybe has a lot of followers or a career that is established, but you always look on the emerging one, and this is important to cooperate with the emerging visions in every side. Good. So let's talk about the collection that now it's available on That's It, the collection that we can see on the platform, that it's available for selection, placement, available also for the buyer now. Are you working on next collection or next spring summer? I think because you have already produced the fall winter 2023-24. What's available now to see? What we can see on through That's It?
So about us, Pecuanera, on that city we have like a small preview of the upcoming collection, and also we have just released the lookbook on our Instagram page, and according to plans, next Tuesday we're gonna release the e-commerce. So stay tuned because it's our first e-commerce, and we're gonna have the first experience with customers. And about collection, it's called Unica Malus. It's called Latins, and it means pomegranate because the main inspiration comes from a movie that we saw this winter. It's from Parajanov. It's called The Color of Pomegranate, and it's a realistic movie, very eclectic. And as a collective in our artistic vision, we always try to find the right path, the between like the reality and the fiction. So for us, like this kind of reference was like perfect because it was perfect like to mix all the the word that defines us as Petranera, because it's difficult for us to tell you like a single artistic vision. We have different points of reference. So inside this collection, it's called knitwear collection. We have like different parts of like different seeds with pomegranates. So we have like more graphic parts related to the late Gothic work of art of some Italian painter as Crivelli. We are in love with Crivelli, and we have like a huge works from him at Pinacoteca di Brera, and we always go there to see them. And more like stuff that related to the knitwear world, different kind of elaboration that are more like based on the color and on the tactile part. So we are like we have like a small collection of pretty looks, but we are very proud of it. And yes, we are very excited to go to the world this collection because we are like very conscious of the fact that we have a vision that embrace all part of the world. We are like I'm half Japanese, half Italian. There's a guy from Philippines. There's another guy from Bulgaria.
They are crazy. They are crazy. I think, Giorgio, you can follow all these guys' contamination. I think you discover a member of the Coranera.
They just put so much work in.
Yes,
Also,
they are incredible. They are
we
incredible.
have still a guy for us that is still studying in France at EFM. So
Wow.
we have every day new creativity, new kind of vision of the world. And that's great. It's like
Amazing.
it's like not doing only fashion. Like it's like living our lives as
It's art. It's art.
Something new from each other because of our roots, our different interests, and this is our strength, the capability, and the fact that we're all open-minded to each other, and I'm so curious about what's happening in the world and what's around us. That we can always learn something new from each other every day, and this is what helps me and Giovanni in particular to came up with the ideas, which sometimes are even really different, but they somehow seem to fit together in a strong and super efficient way. That's the cool fact about being such a big family.
It's incredible, really, because you are open to any kind of art. At the same time, you cooperate each other. I think that you can find anything inside the collective. For an example, you need a musician, you need the soundtrack, you need a video director, you need an artist. So it's good. It's a new way to cooperate. It's a kind of a came back to the fusions that we had in the past.
Yeah. For example, one important reference for us is the Memphis movement.
Memphis. So you are your reference, and in Milan too. So.
Yeah. Like we studied Memphis that first year of university, and we was like shocked by that kind of vision of like the design, how like they have the relationship also with the industry, the creativity and the industry, and
In the glorious moment of Milan. So it's good. Well, and what about the other ones? What are the collections that are available that we can see on Datsit? What about the future? What are you working on now? Blue di Blue.
You mean like next plan?
Collection? Yes or no? The collection that it's available on Datsit now, and what about the next one? What are you working for?
Okay, there are products from Blue de Blue 22 fall and winter and 23 spring summer in Desert, but there is no entire collection because we selected has been created to suit the reason. Also have the opportunity to see upcoming collection of Blue de Blue in Desert. And our next plan is David fashion show in September.
Oh, you will be on a runway. You will have a runway.
Yeah.
Wow, in Seoul.
Yeah. in Seoul Fashion Week on September.
I know that it's a very strong fashion week. It's one of my next steps because they talk a lot about Seoul Fashion Week. It's very good. It's very good now.
Okay.
So, good luck.
Yeah. Thank you. So we aim to create a fashion show that transforms the runway into a moving exhibition space. I cannot say specific details, but you can look forward to it. And we are in discussion for costume production for a drama in Korea. Yeah. And lastly, I'm currently exploring opportunities to participate in shows or events in my second hometown, Italy.
Italy, yes,
Yeah.
Florence. Wow, it's also a custom drama in Korea. So, are you
Yeah.
working on the custom for this drama? But it's a movie
Movie and drama.
and drama. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So, really good luck. Really good luck.
Thank you.
Gawat, what about the collection available on That's It? And what about your next collection? Where you
So,
working for?
so like the current collection that I was working on was inspired by the revolutionary rave culture and all, and like the music scene, electronic music scene as well. But and then I did like a second part of it, which was like an athleisure line, which has like basic merchandise items like biker shorts, crop tops, hoodies, and so on. So those are going into production now and will be available, I think, in the next month. Around about the same time, I'll be launching. So yeah, that's what will be available. The next collection, I'm still in the phase of completing it, but it is more or less. I took a lot of like. I feel like every collection, like the next collection, is always a development or like a better version of your previous one. So like using some of the same patterns and some of the same silhouettes, but like modifying them in various ways to create different garments altogether. And I think that's also one of my inspirations is also from Rick Owens because he works a lot in that way as well. Like he will
Yes.
always take the same collection and try to modify it and change it around a bit, so that you don't waste too much time also on one collection. I think that's important because in mind, while I'm working on this collection, I already have the winter collection in mind, and I have already done some of the pieces of that. So it's like both going side by side, but obviously this one will be finished before. And my launch plan was, I wanted to do a different kind of event or something that hasn't been done already, because runways and like a pop-up, everybody does that. I wanted to like create like an isolated dark room and using like metaverse of and via like visual, like the glasses like VR,
Yeah,
uh,
yes. I have tried them for
to
the
show
Metaverse
to
Fashion
show
Week.
to showcase like the collection basically. So that was my idea, but I'm still working on it.
Yes,
So
so the evolution on the metaverse and digitalizing everything.
digitalizing everything. So like you come there, you are present actually, but it's all like you are seeing it basically, and like visualizing it, and to like yeah, I guess whatever.
Good ambitions. There are different ways to promote new collections. Right now, we are lucky that okay, we live the pandemic, but at the same time, we developed a different way to show and to interact with all the people of the fashion community. So
Yeah.
I think that from a bad thing, we survive with the new ideas
I
and we
think moving towards digitalization, that's the only way forward, because even now, like if I do most of my shopping online. I barely ever visit stores. I think after COVID, that trend kind of, went down of like going and shopping in person. So it's like more a digital like future. And I think in that aspect, we have to all be like mindful and, you know,
Yeah, but it's a new, it's a new field of the industry, and we need to be ready. We are ready anyway, and also for you, like emerging designer, but also that's it. I think that helps you to develop also this side, but at the same time, the way that they interact also with the industry, it's all digitalized, right, Giorgio? We know you also because I also cooperate with them in terms of selecting garments for my projects. They are all digitalized and they cooperate in a digitalization work.
Like even for example, now Balenciaga had the show, but they present like it was a digital show, but they sent you an invite with the key. So like you go there, but it'll all be digital. So I think a lot of brands are working on that now.
Yeah, yeah. But Balenciaga has a field inside the company. They opened the first metaverse section on the company. It's a news from the last year, so it's reality. It's true. Kaze, what about your the collection that is available on Datsit, and then what about your next steps?
So the collection that is available in That's It is actually our first debut collection, and it's like a result of our two worlds collided into one, and then we also took advantage of the logo that we already thought together and also deconstructed to be an evolving original patterns. So we really love to do those kind of original patterns from the roots that we have, which is our logo. And at the same time, we also have like the merchandise from our first EP, that vinyl that we produced from the debut collection. So
Based
that's
on the
it.
same concept.
Exactly. And
Yep.
that's it has the merchandise with them as well. And with regards to the future, we love to meet people in the physical world, like in physical world. So we really want to make more music events, especially in Florence.
Always. So you have invited to Florence, all right?
Absolutely.
No, because I will teach.
Invited.
I will teach in summer also in Polymondo.
Yeah.
Why to invite me? I wait for the invitation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like during the music events, we really try now to develop like limited edition merchandise, because we always collaborate with
Artists,
local musicians like in Firenze, Tuscany, and in the area. So that's why we also want to give an extra value by making merchandise, and of course another release of vinyl, because we always try to incorporate the new collection together with a release of vinyl
We made
music.
everything from a concept. No?
Yeah, and this new collection will be together with That's It again in September. So we'll see what what will happen in September.
Oh, wow. George, it's your time now. We are almost at the end of the live. What are the next steps for That's It? What's your immediate future, and reveal something regarding the future of That's It?
I would say that the next step is going to be for sure to be able to deliver the last part of the real world, meaning the selling side. As I was saying before, right now we are focusing more on the PR and communication, working with stylists and all the creators. As soon as we are here, we are really established on the product development, from the drawings to the samples and then production. So we are quite strong in that field. And right now we are working in order to be able to put the brands and all the creative minds that we are working with in order to be able to get seen in the real scene and also on the street, because we can say that you can find me on e-commerce, on showrooms, on pop-ups, but from my personal point of view, you had to get in the streets to be real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. Good luck to everyone. I hope to meet everyone on real. Absolutely. And so follow That's It. Follow all the evolution and all the designers that they are gonna develop to in our country and worldwide. Grazie mille a tutti e noi ci vediamo ogni settimana sulla nostra piattaforma di Art Tribune. parliamo di moda, di arte, e seguiteci anche fino a luglio, poi avremo una pausa estiva e poi riprenderemo a settembre. Questa diretta è disponibile per circa 15 giorni sulla nostra piattaforma Twitch, quindi se volete rivederla potete rivederla e magari contattate Dadsit anche per qualsiasi domanda, richiesta in merito ai designer che promuovono. Grazie mille a tutti, ci vediamo su Trivion. Ciao! Ciao!
Ciao.
Bye guys!
Ciao,
Ciao! Ciao! Ciao!